My name is John Thomas, and at Streams Ministries, we are constantly asked about dream elements. Now, this is not necessarily a dream element as much as it is a dream happening. How many of you have heard of sleep paralysis? A lot of people have had this. If you take a look, you will find stories all over the internet. It is something that has become quite a phenomena, and especially it seems in the last 20 to 30 years. And maybe it's just because we have more talk about things like this that we're hearing more about it. But it seems like it's happened to a lot more people. I was at my chiropractor a couple of years ago, and one of the ladies found out that I talked about dreams and started to ask me because she had sleep paralysis on a regular basis. When I was growing up, I dealt with it a number of times. You wake up, and what happens in sleep paralysis is you feel like you're awake, or maybe you're not quite awake yet, and you wake up in the middle of it, but you feel like you can't move. You feel like you can't breathe, and there's usually this overwhelming fear or terror that comes with it. People that talk about it, they'll often talk about that sense of dread or that sense of evil being in the room. Most often, and every time that I've found this, there might be other possibilities, but when I've found this, it's demonic visitations. It's a demon that has come into the room that is releasing something. And we talk about in dreams, when I talked about body parts in one of the earlier dream elements, I talked about how immobilization of a body part can be a demonic attack. Well, when your whole body is immobilized, that's a demonic attack. There's this presence of the enemy, and the enemy is bringing fear into people's lives, and he's trying to hinder their desire for supernatural activity, their desire to hear the voice of God in dreams and visions and other ways that God speaks. And so he comes in with these attacks. My friend Josh Hoffer and I talk about how to help children specifically that deal with demonic activity, sleep paralysis, and other types of things. But it's not just children that have them, many adults that have it. Now, if you read about it, you're going to find some medical stuff. I think it's only when you're laying flat on your back that it happens. It doesn't happen if you're laying on your side. I don't know why that is. Maybe that we just turn that way when the demonic turns us that way. I don't know how that works or why that seems to be the case, but why else would there be a presence of fear in the room, which is a consistent theme that comes, and that fear remains even as the person wakes up and after they wake up. Now, here's what you need to know. It doesn't matter what starts it. How do you get out of it? There's generally this sense that you can't do anything about it, this sense of helplessness that comes, and you're trying to speak, but you can't even speak. You can't cry for help, and sometimes you can whimper, and maybe if you have someone that's sleeping with you, they wake up and they hear you whimpering, and they'll try to shake you awake, and sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. But the thing that the enemy is trying to tell you is that you can't cry out for help, but it's not true. God does not need noise in the airwaves for him to hear your prayers. You can cry out to Jesus in your heart. Even if you can't say it with your mouth, you can say the name of Jesus. And many, many people, everybody that I've talked to that has done this, is when they start saying the name of Jesus in their heart, even if they can't say it out loud, it begins to lift. Then they can begin to say it out loud. And as they call on the name of Jesus, it begins to fade. It begins to go away. So some of you may not even know Jesus, and you've had sleep paralysis, and you found this video because you're trying to figure out what to do about it. Let me encourage you, ask Jesus for help. And I know people that don't even have a relationship with Jesus that have asked Jesus for help, and they got the help that they needed when they asked him for help. I was just told a testimony of this week that had happened to somebody. So I encourage you, get to know Jesus, because if you're having this type of activity, he can help you, and you need that help. But one way or the other, cry out to Jesus because he can help you. Now, sleep paralysis. That is an interesting dream element.